Good morning, students. Once again, I welcome you to my video lectures on signals and systems. So last class, I gave introduction to inverse Z transforms and I defined what is inverse Z transformation. Next comes the question: in how many ways can we do inverse Z transformation? There are three methods. Number one, there are three methods. Number one is what is called as contour integration method. Contour integration method. Contour integration method. Second one is what is called as partial fraction expansion. Partial fraction expansion. Partial fraction expansion method. This is second method. Third method is what is known as long division method. Long division, or also known as power series expansion. Power series expansion method. These are the three methods students are supposed to learn to carry out what is known as inverse Z transformation. Now, first I will take a partial fraction expansion because students at the PU level have gone through partial fraction expansion, and after that I will take up a long division method, and at the end I will take up contour integration method. Now, today I will give introduction to partial fraction expansion. So, partial fraction expansion method is a popular method of carrying out inverse Z transformation. From this, partial fraction expansion method gives us x of n in rational form. It gives us x of n in rational form. That is what partial fraction expansion method. Now, in the partial fraction expansion method, and the students are supposed to know partial fraction expansion well. So, first initially x of z will be in rational form. Rational form. So, numerator, denominator. So, numerator, denominator. And it is possible to factorize denominator. It is possible to factorize. Now, if factorization is not possible, then this method fails. So, if it is possible to factorize denominator. So, from this we recover x of n. And this method, now today I will give introduction to partial fraction expansion method. In the next class I will take up problems. This partial fraction expansion method uses basic Z transform pairs. Basic Z transform pairs. Basic Z transform pairs. I will give example. Basic Z transform pairs means x of n and its x of z for few basic functions. For example, u of n and its z transform. What is its z transform? Z by z minus 1 and mod z greater than 1. And similarly, u of minus n minus 1 and its z transform. Next, u of minus n or delta of n. So these are called as basic time functions and its z transform. And this method uses the basic z transform pairs. And students are supposed to know the basic functions and their z transforms. They are very much required. And this partial fraction expansion method also uses the properties of ROC. ROC property is very important. ROC property. Now I will mention what is this ROC property. For example, take u of n. Now u of n is called as right-sided sequence. You know, once again I don't explain what is a right-sided sequence. You know that u of n is a right-sided sequence. So, for un, the z transform is x of z is equal to z over z minus 1. Z over z minus 1. If you sketch a ROC, mod z is greater than 1. Mod z is greater than 1. So this is z plane, and I have constructed a circle of radius 1, and z equal to 1 is called pole. Z equal to 1 is called pole, and the region of convergence is outside this pole radius. So pole radius is 1, and ROC is to its right, or it is greater than the pole radius. Pole radius is 1 and ROC is greater than pole radius. That is a very, very important point. This is for a right-sided sequence like U of n. And for example, if you take U of minus n, so U of minus n is considered as left-sided sequence because it exists, the functions exist to the left of the origin. And U of minus n, the region of convergence is mod z less than 1. Mod z less than 1. And here the pole is at 1. And the region of convergence is lesser than the pole radius. That means to the left of this pole exists ROC. So that is very, very important. So for a right-sided signal, the ROC is greater than pole radius, whereas for a left-sided sequence, the region of convergence is lesser than the pole radius. So here I have taken pole radius of 1. So these 2 points are very important, very crucial. And in the next class, I will remind you the basic Z transform pairs, and then I will work out problems. And one more point I want to mention, while taking the partial fraction, while doing partial fraction, one point you know that the degree of the denominator must be greater than the degree of the numerator. For example, z by z plus 1 whole square. Z by z plus 1 whole square. What is the degree of numerator? Degree of the numerator is 1. The highest degree of the numerator is 1. Whereas, if you expand this denominator, it is z square. So, degree of the denominator is 2. So, whenever the degree of the denominator is greater than the degree of the numerator, then only you can do partial fractions. Suppose if the degree of the numerator is greater than or equal to the degree of the denominator, then we have to do division. For example, this is also z square. Let us assume that this is also this is z square, this is z plus 1 square. So numerator degree is 2, denominator degree is also 2. So straight away you can't do partial fractions. So we have to, there is a division process. After the division process, reducing the degree of the numerator less than the degree of the denominator, we have to continue with partial fraction expansion. In the next class, I will enumerate these details, and in the next class we shall solve problems on inverse Z transforms using partial fractions method. Thank you.